friends, I'm Faith, and this is the Earthly Threads YouTube channel. This is just a little introduction about Earthly Threads and the face behind it, me, and where I'm headed, and how I want to build a community of like-minded individuals and help you guys learn how to sew. I honestly don't know exactly where I'm going, but I want to take you along for the journey. I'm just excited to go into the new year and try something new, set some goals, and yeah. I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Faith. I'm the owner and creator at Earthly Threads. Everything you see about Earthly Threads is me. I am the face behind the brand. I'm doing all of the work, the fun stuff, and the not so fun things. I'm so grateful to have Earthly Threads in the community that I do. I live in Colorado with my partner. We have 2 cats, Virga and Ryler. You often see them in my videos. And this year we got 7 chickens, so you've been seeing them as well. My cats and my chickens bring me so much joy and inspiration. I'm originally from West Virginia. I miss my family every day. I'm sure they're watching this video, so I love you guys. I went to school for fashion design 10 years ago, and it seems like forever. I've just always enjoyed fashion. I'm not sure I really found my style until I was out of high school though, and I started going to music festivals. And music festivals, the fashion there, fashion at music festivals is next level, and you can just experiment and express yourself in so many ways that after going to music festivals for 10 years, I feel like I found my style right away and just expressed myself. I love color and patterns and mismatched fabrics and just anything that stands out. What I love about what I do is if you're out in public, someone's gonna say something about a patchwork piece that you're wearing. I learned that I liked people complimenting my outfit, as most do, but knowing that I made it is super rewarding. And so that's how I found my style. I have a lot of women in my family, so they influenced my fashion from a very young age, from my sister to my aunts and my mother and my grandmother. My Aunt Kim opened up her small business, Savvy Consignment. If you're ever in West Virginia, go check it out. I worked for Kim until I moved out to Colorado, and if I was home, I'd still be working at Savvy Consignment. Working in a consignment store and going through people's old clothing brings me so much joy, and it's what I want to do in the future as well, and follow in Kim's footsteps. I've always just been around secondhand fashion growing up, and I remember getting hand-me-downs from my cousins and being so excited to get their old Abercrombie & Fitch and Hollister clothing, that brought me so much joy. And who cares if it was secondhand, it didn't matter to me. I never needed to have new stuff constantly. I was in school for fashion and working at my aunt's consignment shop, and so secondhand fashion was just such a big thing for me. After I graduated from fashion design, I decided to go back to school for environmental protection, sustainable design, and environmental change. I enjoyed getting that degree so much, but it was really sad and hard for me because of the information you're taking in and learning. Sometimes you kind of feel helpless. I'm very blessed to have teachers that were very uplifting and you are the change. Sorry, I have to take a second. This makes me emotional. When I was in school for fashion, my professor was encouraging me to go to school for sustainable design, but I had taken a year off. I made it there eventually, and I graduated with a bachelor's in sustainable design and environmental protection. So then my art met sustainability and was kind of the birth of Earthly Threads. When I was in school for fashion, we had to make a collection and name it, and I was living with my mama at the time, and we were kind of throwing ideas off of each other about what I wanted the name of my brand to be. I said I wanted it to be earthy or earthly, and she said, how about Earthly Threads? And I was like, yes, that's perfect. So I stuck with it and did my project, and then that was in 2015-16, I believe. And in 2019, I started my Instagram under Earthly Threads, and that is where the name came from. When I started my Instagram, I was making hand carved stamps and just stamping it on thrifted items I had found, and I was selling on Depop. And that was the beginning of Earthly Threads, and at the same time I had learned how to do hand embroidery, which I've been doing for 10 years now. My professor in college encouraged me to do it for a project. I still have that project. It's a shirt with a flower pot pocket that I did hand embroidered flowers out of it. After that, I just fell in love with hand embroidery, and I made my first hand embroidered hat for my brother. I did like little trees on it, and I started selling hats. And then I started selling bucket hats. And then I started selling my tie-dyed hand embroidered bucket hats. I started thrifting white stuff and upcycling it with tie-dye and then doing hand embroidery on it, and that's what Earthly Threads was for a very long time. My background for tie-dye kind of came from my mom. She was doing tie-dye at the same time my best friend Malia and I started our small business, Dyed and Confused. And we were traveling around the country, going to music festivals, selling tie-dye t-shirts with vinyl logos on it, and we were hustling a lot. So we were just going from campsite to campsite, making money to travel and go to music festivals. And we did that for a few years. Still some of the most fun times in my life doing that with Malia. We had such a great time. So I was tie-dyeing for a long time, and when I moved to Colorado in 2020, I just kept doing tie-dye, kept doing hand embroidery, and then with time I started sewing. I was just taking secondhand materials and doing applique, sewing different sleeves on, just doing small projects here and there. I still wasn't super comfortable using my serger. The one that I have is the one that I've always had. It's 10 years old. It's still kicking it. The sewing machines honestly frustrated me for a long time because I just didn't know how to problem solve or figure them out. So I would get frustrated and my needle would break, and I'd be like, I hate changing a needle, and my thread would snap. But after you do it for so long, it's nothing. I'm if my needle snaps, I can change it in less than 5 minutes. I can thread my serger in less than 5 minutes. It just becomes easier and easier the more you do it. And so once I figured that out, I just was unstoppable. The first design that I made patchwork was my Portobello bell sleeve tops. So I was taking thrifted tops, taking the sleeves off, and then adding my patchwork bell sleeves to them. And I had so much fun making those. I didn't realize how much I would love patchwork, and patchwork made sense to me because I'm using secondhand materials, so I don't have large materials to do a whole sleeve out of one fabric, unless you're using bed sheets or something like that. So patchworking and using up all of the materials I had is just what made sense at the time and still makes sense today. There's times where I don't have bed sheets or something to line an item, so I'm patchworking pillowcases together. You'll sometimes see the lining in my stuff is actually also patchworked, which is a little crazy. After making my Portobello bell sleeve tops, I just kept making more designs and drafting more designs and just practicing and practicing until I got really good at it. And this year I've made my best-selling design, my woodland wide leg pants. They'll be a year old in April, the end of April. And since I started them in April to now, I've transformed them so many times and I've made them better and better. I just really love focusing on the quality of my items. You'll always see me leveling up because I want to create the most quality, long-lasting products out of secondhand materials I can, because sustainability is my biggest passion. I had you guys ask me some questions, and one of them was, what inspires me? I was first inspired by music and music festivals, just like festival where a big part of that is nature, being outside, camping, wildlife. You'll see a lot of animals in my work because, I mean, I love, who doesn't love animals? I love all animals. Color is a huge part, like being able to take different colors and matching them in fabrics and materials. I can just look at one fabric and be inspired for an entire project and just piece together colors until I make a product that I love. I'm inspired by other artists. I'm inspired by my partner, inspired by my community, and there's so many things in life to be grateful for. I'm just like always inspired by my surroundings. I feel very in tune with my environment and who I am, and so like I just pull that inspiration from within, and all of the work that you see of mine is my heart and soul that I put into that. What's the first thing I remember sewing or felt proud of? I remember sewing teddy bears for all of my friends in the 6th grade. My mom took me to the fabric store and I picked out a different fabric for every girl in my class, and I sewed teddy bears this big. I don't know, thinking back, I'm like, did I sew them myself or did my mom sew them? I'm pretty sure she like helped me, but I made teddy bears for everyone. That was the very first project I remember sewing. Another one would be making a blanket or a quilt. I still remember the fabric. It was like kind of Christmassy reds, greens, and beiges, and I remember like sewing the squares. I did that with my mom as well. One of the items I've been most proud of would probably be more recent. Last year I did Denver Fashion Week and I had 2 looks in there that I'm super proud of. One would be my yo-yo outfit, which was like a shrug top and wide leg pants. I love how that one turned out. And another one would be my button vest that took me hours to hand sew buttons on. Someone asked, why secondhand materials? I think everything I've shared before this moment kind of tells you why secondhand materials. Sustainability is just my passion. Sustainability in fashion and art just is Earthly Threads. It's who I am. The future of Earthly Threads. I would love to make my patterns digital this coming year. I currently don't know how to do that or what software and equipment I need to do that. My designs are all hand-drawn on Costco paper that I get for free. Like my woodland wide leg pants pattern that you see me using often is actually my flare wide leg pant pattern. I just use like what I know in my head to cut it into a straight leg. I don't know exactly when or how I'll get my patterns out, but I would love to. I'd like to do tutorials on how to sew them as well. And my other designs, I have my Valley vest, my Saturn shorts, my Orion overalls, new are my Juno joggers, my pepper plants, my cardinal crew necks, my harvest hoodie. I would love to eventually have all of those patterns out there for you to use and a tutorial video on how to do it. This coming year, YouTube. I want to try to do 1 YouTube video every week. That is a goal of mine. Another goal is to continue to do the Pageant of Post for a year, maybe 2 years. We'll see how it goes. Definitely a full year. So I'll be uploading a video monthly on how to sew a patch onto something. Those videos will be all a little different. I'll probably do some sewing machine tutorials and some hand stitching tutorials, like patching up holes, maybe like fixing a seam and stuff like that. I would like to do other videos on my patchwork, how I create my patchwork. If you buy one of my patchwork designs and like a little hole wears in it, how to patch that up, you know, just like how to keep your clothes in your closet and not donated and ending up in the landfill. Other things I want to do is just like bring awareness to the fashion industry and talk about environmental protection and sustainable design, and maybe just more about my fashion journey and how I got to where I am. I would love to do a whole bunch of different videos, and I'm going to be doing 52 videos next year, so if you have some suggestions, drop them in the comments. So stay tuned because this is just the beginning. If you've been following me on Instagram since the beginning, thank you so much. I have so much gratitude for you and your support, for every comment that is lifting me up. I cherish it so much. If you have any other questions about sewing and stuff like that, you can also comment below. You can join me on Patreon. It's Earthly Threads Art. I just sent out the first round for December, and I'm going to send out more at the end of the month. If you sign up by December 31st, you'll get December's mail. If you're watching this video to the end, you get a little surprise. Next month's Patched Up post is chicken theme, of course. I love my chickens, and I was just telling you how they inspire me, so I'm excited to share that art with you. Ryler came to say hi right at the end of the video. Yeah, so thanks for listening and being here and supporting sustainable and slow fashion. I appreciate it more than you know. Feel free to ask me any questions and I'll try to incorporate them into my upcoming videos. My next video will be about my Patch It Up posts and how to sew on December's patch. So if you want to join my Patreon, you can go over there and do so. And together I hope we can continue to keep clothing from the landfill one stitch at a time. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Earthly Threads channel. We appreciate you so much. Bye.